Hi, this is Brandon with Precision Defensive Solutions, and today we're going to talk about some safety on different handguns. So I have three guns on the table right now. I've got a VP9F, a VP9K, and I have a CC9. And I want to talk about why I like these guns so much. And a lot of it is not only the shootability and the reliability, but it's also the safety factor of the gun. I carry appendix. I have for a couple of years, probably about 5 years now. So whether I'm carrying appendix or when I carried strong side, the safety factor of the gun really made a difference to me. Putting a gun in a holster and walking around with it on your body, in your pants, whatever you want to call it, is a big deal. And we need to be mindful of the safety factors with that, right? So one of the safety factors with the VP9 that I really like is the redundant safety capabilities. So like most striker fire guns, it does have a trigger safety, and that trigger safety is what disengages the multiple stages. Okay, it's the start of the chain. Now, to show you, this gun is unloaded, empty mag, empty chamber. It is completely clear. Okay. When you press that trigger, and I'm going to show this as much as I can, and I'll see if I can zoom in on it when I'm editing it. This trigger safety right here allows that trigger to be pressed. If it is not being pressed, I cannot press the trigger. I have to disengage that to get that trigger to move to break. And I think that's a big deal, right? I think it's a big safety thing, and I think that it's one of those things that, as we're carrying the gun, we need to be mindful of. Does that mean that we should just slam our guns back into the holster after we've drawn? Absolutely not. We need to be very mindful of that. We need to be cautious, and we need to be very mindful of any tension that should not be in that holster. With the VP9, one of the big safety factors is that we've got a couple of safeties that move front and back, and we have one that moves in a circular motion. And that circular motion really makes a big deal, because that means if we were to drop the gun, and I'm going to say this categorically, I have had students literally knock a loaded gun off the bench at the range. They're drop safe. They hit the concrete, they hit the ground, they hit the dirt, whatever. There's multiple stages that have to happen before that gun will discharge. Because of the way the gun is designed, simply dropping it is not going to cause it to discharge. The other thing I want to talk about with all three of these guns is the safety factor that when the mag is in the gun, you cannot rotate this down. So if I lock this back and try to rotate that takedown lever down, I can't do it until I drop the mag and then rotate it. Once I do that, then I can take it off without having to press the trigger. I think that's a huge safety factor, where we don't have to press the trigger to take the gun apart. Now, instantly people will say, well, you know, people have done that with Glock forever, and you know, there's hardly any problems, or there's never a problem. Well, there are problems. They don't always hit the media. They don't hit YouTube, because guess what? When people have negligent discharges, they don't make a habit of posting it on social media. Okay? So being able to do that and not press the trigger or have to press the trigger is huge. There's a number of guns that you have to press the trigger to take them apart. And that's problematic. That's problematic. And whether you, I'm going to use Glock as an example, whether you pull the slide back, disengage it with the slide release tabs, and then press the trigger, or you press the trigger and then cock it back a little bit, it doesn't matter. You still have to press the trigger. Walther, you have to press the triggers on the PDPs, and that, again, you know, it's a safety factor. And, you know, people say, well, it forces you to unload the gun. Well, it does, except for people make mistakes. Okay? I have seen it, and I'm going to get a Glock in here, and we're going to film it, where with a Glock, you can actually take the slide off the frame with a magazine in it. And I think that's dumb. That's dumb. It's dangerous. People make mistakes. And the more you do things, the more complacent you are with it, the higher the chance are that you're going to make a mistake, that you're going to have a negligent discharge. With the HK line of pistols, with the VP9s and the CC9, you don't have to press the trigger. With the P30, it's a little bit different, but you still don't have to press the trigger to take them apart. And I think that's a big, big factor. So don't just think about the latest and greatest. Look at the safety factors of the gun. Not are they just drop safe, but do you have to press the trigger to take them apart? Got to think about those things. Take care, everybody. Be safe. Get out and get some training. We're doing classes all the time. Hope to see you in one. And we'll talk to you soon.